This thing's spinning.
Okay. What bands do you think have been most influential in the past year, and why?
Influential to who?
To people in general.
I would have to say Queen, ELO, and the Carpenters.
And why?
I don't know. I hear a lot of what they're doing in new sounds today, such as Nirvana, Soundgarden, Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know, it's sort of a rehashed thing, I think. It's more, you know, the new sound is really an old sound. No, music sucks. I hate all music now. I don't know. I really don't like to listen to music very much anymore.
Why is that? Because you just think no one's original?
I don't know. I just, nothing's doing it. I'm not going to blame anybody, but I'll let you know when I figure it out, but I haven't figured it out yet. But I don't know. I'm just not. I go into the record store and I look for like 2 hours, and usually I just end up going to the soundtrack section. But yeah, it's kind of it's pretty sad.
It's true. Thank you for being honest. So I guess you wouldn't be able to cite then any new bands that are breaking new ground because you just.
Well, it's funny you say that because I'm going to go see a band tonight called Grotus, and that's a band that should be talked about and that the whole world will know about probably. They're very good.
What are they all about? What's their sound like? And if you could say Grotus is.
Grotus is. Grotus is one of my favorite bands. They're about real heavy, kind of industrial sort of sounds, but they're not like they're not really. I can't say that word industrial. It's a bad word. Well, they have every industrial ingredient, to put it that way, but the end result is far more complicated and far more sick than any industrial band. They show videos of nice meaty things. They have great arrangements, great samples, and they're not danceable. And that's just really hard thing to find these days, something you can't dance to.
What music trends are you sick of and which would go away?
Right now at this moment I would have to say all retro, anything retro. Which is, I guess, what, about 80–90% of what's coming out? It's hard to say because I don't really listen to a lot anymore, but... Well, I do, but, I mean, like... I don't know, do you want me to cut some bands down? Is that what you're saying?
No. If you want.
No. There's a lot of bands that I think you could listen to now and not be able to tell what era they've come from, and I'll bet that those bands think that that's really magical and timeless, but it's bullshit. It doesn't sound like anything.
What would you like to see happen that would put your faith back in music?
I don't know. People banging on dead bodies. You know, I read this interview with, I don't remember what magazine it was in, but I think it was with the Black Crowes, that band, the Black Crowes. And I think maybe it was Rolling Stone or some magazine. It's a big magazine, and I was just reading through it, and it said, one of the guy's quotes from the band was, I think the interviewer said, "Do you think you're making any original sound?" And out of guilt, he said something like, he said something like, "Oh, gee, I guess to be original nowadays, you have to bang on a badger carcass," or something like that. I don't want to do that just to be original. And it just made me think, well, I mean, God, I'd love to bang on a badger carcass. I think most people would. Whether it's original or not is beside the point.
So do you think the future of music is dead, or where do you think the future of music is going?
I think something was gonna, I think it's probably a good thing if computers just take over music. Because computers are a lot more messed up than people, and the more messed up and farther away music gets from music, the healthier it's going to be for music. I think computers could kind of take it to a new level. I'm all for it. People are the worst. It's the worst thing about music is that people play it.
Yeah, okay. Do you see any genre of music that's evolving, that you think there's some hope in it doing something original?
Yeah, I think you can in every genre, I guess, but it's just that there's kind of a little rut that people love to fall into. And that's kind of spinning your wheels kind of thing. And no, I don't know. I don't want to sound like there's no hope or anything, but no, there's rap seems like it's getting pretty. I mean, it's pretty much one direction it can go, and it's going in that direction. More and more violent, more and more everything. You know, more and more nasty. It's yeah. If it's progressing in that way, then yes, it's evolving, and that's great.
Okay. Are there any new releases you're looking forward to hearing in '92?
God, let me think. Who's recording? Give me some help. I've kind of been out of it.
Alice in Chains.
Who else is?
What kind of music do you?
Anybody?
Gabriel.
Anybody making a big comeback?
Bruce Springsteen's album is coming. Def Leppard. I don't know. It's pretty. '92 looks pretty bleak, except for you guys.
No, there's got to be something. And I can't say nothing.
To literally be putting out an album, just like one band that you're like.
Godflesh. Godflesh is going to be putting a new album out, and it's a great album. I've lucky enough to hear it, and it's going to be great.
What is Godflesh all about?
Listen to me telling you guys what bands are all about. Listen to me. I know. Godflesh are really just ridiculously heavy, I think. And they're one of the few bands that can make you wonder whether or not your batteries are running out on your stereo. And that's a hell of a feat. And I think the Melvins are also going to put out a new record, and I really like the Melvins. Looking forward to that.
Okay.
Speaking of disco, I know that our guitar player a little earlier said that he didn't like disco. He's one guy and 5 guys. And I would have to speak for at least 3 other guys in the band. We want to become a disco band. That's basically it. You know, we're here to defend disco from the likes of our guitar player, people like that, who really were asleep during the whole era and really missed out on the whole point. As far as modern disco goes, is Paula Abdul disco? Yeah, I guess so. I really like the new Paula Abdul song, I have to say. The last few Paula Abdul songs, I think, have been really great. It's not funny. Don't laugh. What else? I like the last George Michael album a whole lot.
So what new band?
That's just disco. What is that band? I was just watching MTV the other day, and there's this band that is just so great. Right Said Fred or something like that. Fred's.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
It's the guy going, I'm too sexy. It's this huge guy, right? It's so great, man. Look for it. If you're, like, watching, maybe if you could sync it up, like, show it right after this interview. Because it's so good. There's these huge bald guys. They are so huge. And you wouldn't think a big guy would sing like this. And he's like, I'm too sexy for my